Hey guys, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Look, the international break, it's so boring, but at least it gives us the opportunity to talk about topics like that we're going to talk about today. Yesterday we talked about all the Chelsea outgoings off the back of the transfer deadline being closed. I know it's still open in a few of the European leagues out there, but more or less it's pretty much over. And today I want to focus on all the incomings that we've had, and really try and put a rating around the transfer window that we've had. Now, obviously, some players came just before the window as well, so it's been quite phenomenal, to be honest. So, look, I think we can all appreciate the fact that it's been a fantastic transfer window. But let's try and make some sense out of all the players that have come in and what kind of sort of impact that we can expect from them. So, straight from the top, Hakim Ziyech, guys. Last season, obviously with the transfer ban, I think we can all say that the transfer ban was a blessing in disguise because it was a catalyst to basically kickstart this revolution under Frank Lampard with all the players that have come in and the ambition that Roman Abramovich has shown. So, when finally the transfer ban was lifted last season in January, during that period, well, it was in December, but in January when the transfer window was open, Frank was really looking for, to bolster the team and really help out the team off the back of, we were going through a very dicey sort of moment during that time where, we were finding it very difficult against certain teams that would sit deep and defend and then counter us. So Frank was looking for, creative player, striker, and so on and so forth. And it never happened. He was frustrated at the end of the whole transfer window. And finally enough, roughly around the mid sort of February mark or early February, whole news about Hakim Ziyech broke through. And within 24 to 48 hours of it being reported, it was all sort of announced and finalized. Then, look, Hakim Ziyech is the start of, what was, I suppose that was lined up for us. But he's the kind of player that we 100% needed. We saw last season that we lacked someone, who's creative in midfield, in the wing space. And Hakim Ziyech brings goals, assists. We've seen it for Ajax for several seasons. Not just the breakthrough season that Ajax had in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, but even before that, Ziyech has been pumping in assists and goals after goals after goals. So this particular signing was fantastic. And on top of that, him being on the right side of the wing, in the right wing, and ability to cut in and whip the ball with his that left-footed right wing was, something that every Chelsea fan out there will tell you, or predominantly most Chelsea fans will tell you, that they will, the desire for this type of player was immense. So this particular transfer was an absolutely phenomenal transfer, and it sort of gave this feeling to the fan base that, we're looking to come back to the top again. So next up, Timo Werner. Now, I think Frank was looking at Aubameyang. There were some stories about Aubameyang and how he wanted him, but it just didn't materialize. I think Peter Cech and a few other people within the Chelsea hierarchies came up to Frank Lampard and said, hey, look, Timo Werner is a similar type of player, and he's a lot younger. And before you knew it, Frank picked up the phone, called up Timo Werner. Obviously, Rudiger did his German connection thing as well. And Timo Werner, we triggered the release clause. There was some moments with him and Liverpool. Obviously, he wanted to go to Liverpool, but Liverpool simply didn't want to spend that much money. They said that they didn't have the money, but at the end, they ended up getting Thiago Alcantara, Thiago Jota. So I'm pretty sure they had the money, but I don't know what happened there. Nonetheless, I'm glad we triggered the release clause and we got Timo Werner. And Timo Werner is another player, and I'll go, there's a theme in all the transfers that we've had so far, is we addressed all our weaknesses. So with Ziyech, we addressed the creativity portion and also the winger. We've let go of Willian and Pedro, so obviously we needed to replace that with experience, and Ziyech is perfect for that. And with Timo Werner, we saw last season, as much as, Tammy was great with all the goals that he scored, but we still lacked a lethal striker that was just clinical and was able to just finish things off all the time. Hence, obviously, there was a moment where Tammy Abraham was let go off, and then Giroud came into the team later in the piece last season. So Timo Werner was really there to be the striker that was lethal and clinical up front. And The thing about Timo Werner is he's so pacey as well. Like, he can play in the left side, as we've already seen. It's not his preferred side, to be honest. He's far more ruthless in the middle. But nonetheless, for Leipzig, he's scored an enormous amount of goals, and he can assist as well. So, he's not just a goal scorer. He's got the eye for an assist, which means he's creative as well. So that's Timo Werner and Ziyech. Number 3, I'm pretty sure it was Ben Chilwell. Look, it doesn't really matter. But next up is Ben Chilwell, another particular position that has been an issue for us for so many seasons now. The likes of Alonso and Emerson really were not cutting it. And Chilwell, we've already seen this season, especially against that match against Palace just a few days ago. His work rate up front and his recovery pace at the back, defensively he's astute, aerially he's strong. But it's his attacking sense. He's another forward, player for us, with goals and assists that we saw against Palace, and his ability to really whip in those crosses from the left side. His set piece ability is fantastic as well. So that's another position that was a massive issue for us, and Frank addressed it. I'm glad at the end of the day, Ashley Cole vouched for this player. Frank really wanted this. But all of these players that we're going to go through and we've already touched on, these were really Frank Lampard's first choice players. And he's pretty much spoken to each of these players and convinced them to join Chelsea and the project. So Chilwell, another beautiful signing. Look, personally, I want a regular, but look, I'm happy with Chilwell now off the back of what I've seen so far. Next up, Thiago Silva. Guys, we saw last season the amount of goals that we were leaking. We lacked that defensive leader. We lacked that defensive structure. And when it came to set pieces, when it came to just, counter-attacks, Thiago Silva is going to give us a lot of experience. The kind of experience that we lacked last season. Obviously, we played with Zuma, Christensen, Tomori, Rudiger, but none of them really showed that top-class experience that you need in this level, and Thiago Silva is going to give us that. So another top-notch signing. Also against Palace, we saw the kind of leadership that he had in the back along with Azpilicueta. It was just so great to see how tight that back line was. So another fantastic signing for us. Next up is Kai Havertz. Guys, look, a lot of people were saying we could probably do without Kai Havertz. Maybe we could have, but Kai Havertz to me is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Some are saying he's generational. In Germany, they're definitely saying he's generational. And, he's got goals. He's got assists. He's so graceful and elegant with his movement. 100% his best position is number 10. He's another sort of creative player for us, but at the same time, who's a goal scorer. So much like Ziyech, but in a different mold where he can play false nine. He can play many different positions within the front sort of area. But as I said, his number 1 position is the number 10 situation, the central attacking midfielder. And we've already seen against Barnsley the kind of damage that he can do, and even against Palace, the kind of passes that he can provide. He's so brilliant with those visionary type passes. So another magnificent signing there. Next up, look, Malang Sarr. I haven't really watched too much of Malang Sarr, and off the back of what people were saying in social media, that he's a left-sided sort of centre back, can play in the left back. Obviously, recent news that he's gone to Porto for a season-long loan there. So hopefully he does well there. He's probably a player that we're probably going to keep, monitor, and hopefully we can use down the track. So people are touting that he's a very good left-sided sort of centre back, left back sort of player. So watch out for that. It's one for the future. Next up, Mendy. Guys, Mendy, I think we all know with Kepa's situation, how he was just not commanding the box. Already with Mendy, the two games that we've seen, one against West Bromwich and, West Bromwich, the one against Barnsley and one against, not even Barnsley, the one against Spurs and the one against Palace. Especially the one against Spurs, we saw how commanding he was in his box. He just leaps up, grabs, diffuses any sort of corners, set pieces. He's got massive reach, great shot stopper. We've already seen he's not that bad with the ball either. He's very decent when it comes to finding the long range passes and whatnot. So look, the only probably thing that I would say about Mendy is that he's probably going to get better in penalty shootouts. He doesn't look comfortable one bit in penalty shootouts. So look, overall, guys, I think this transfer window has been absolutely sensational. You know, with Ziyech, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell. You know, we've got Thiago Silva, Mendy, Malang Sarr. The only thing that was probably missing was, I suppose, you know, there was heavy rumours with Declan Rice, and Frank was looking for a defensive midfielder and never materialised. But look, we addressed so many concerns with all these players that have come in. It's just been phenomenal. So look, for me, I think I would have to say it's a 9 out of 10 window. To be honest, the one that I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is only simply because of that defensive midfielder. I think we probably needed that defensive midfielder the way that Frank wants to play. We never ended up getting it. We were really focused on getting Declan Rice, but never materialised. I'm pretty sure probably going to get back to him in the next window. But yeah, for me, it's a 9 out of 10 window, and we definitely won this transfer window across all the other teams. There are a few other teams that have done really well, but I'm so confident that, you know, with the likes of players that we've got, you know, we've done fantastically well. And I thank Roman for being such a magnificent owner. You know, probably the best owner in world football at the moment, or in the history, to be honest. I haven't seen an owner like this, and the kind of vision he's shown is truly phenomenal. And you know, hopefully we get back to the top. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are with all the transfers that we've brought in. How would you rate our transfer window? Which particular player do you know that you're looking forward to most in this in this season with all the players that have come in? And let me know what your thoughts are. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see you.